Hey! Welcome to Game Toppers Live number 6.
Number 6.
This many. Today, I'm super pumped about today. It's been a crazy busy Monday as they often are, but we have the opportunity to have with everyone today our special guest, Mark Maia. Is that pronounced right?
That is correct.
Mark Maia from Board Game Coffee. I had the pleasure of being introduced to Brittany actually a while back. They wanted a custom mat for their Board Game Coffee channel, and we ended up developing a relationship. And before you know it, they became Game Topper owners, and we've become friends. We haven't gotten to interact much together, but it's like I'm so excited to meet you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it because we never really got a chance to talk much. I feel like most of our conversations started when you were like getting ready for the big Kickstarter, and you were just busy all the time. So and busy growing that beard, and you're doing a great job. It looks fantastic.
Well, no shave November turned into I ain't got anywhere to go. Let's just let it rip. The grandkids love it. Yeah, it's a pleasure. I don't have that beautiful face that you have there, so I got to kind of hide it all with all this.
It's all plastic surgery.
Mark actually is one of our contributors. He actually purchased his Game Topper, and then we kind of worked out a little bit of a deal to sponsor their channel, just for all transparency and all that. But he loved our product. He loved the mat that he got, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But he made this super fun video for our Kickstarter campaign page, and I didn't tell him what to do. He just said, "Yeah, do whatever you be you," and talk about fun. It looked like you guys had a blast doing that.
We did. It was fun. That's why we left outtakes in there, because we had such a great time. And I've watched the outtakes just for fun, just to remember how it went that day. And we all just had a great time, just laughing and tried a bunch of new things. And it was interesting because originally when we talked about doing the video, we weren't in lockdown. Then we were in lockdown, and that changed everything. So I was like, well, we were planning on shooting this at 3 different locations, but now they were giving out fines for going to people's houses. So we're like, all right, we're going to get creative, and we're going to make the studio look like at least 2 different locations. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's just, so we had to get creative. That's why we used, if you watch the video, we used Chris as 2 roles, both as Brittany's partner and the single man. he played 2 parts. Yeah, because our the cast that we were going to sneak in the house got actually sick. So we're like, and when anybody gets sick now, you got to be like, oh, don't trust you. Stay in the house. It could be anything.
Right.
But what a great time making that video.
Well, I remember when we did one of our board game theater episodes, and we were doing the episode of Royals, and we were all dressed up in costume. I was the king, and Josiah was the marshal, and we had our good friend Sam Brown, and he was the Baron, I think, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. And there was some times that he would just start. We just had a general script, so we just kind of went with it, and it got so dang funny we couldn't stop laughing. We had to cut. I mean, we're just rolling on the floor, and the outtakes. It was like, I don't even know how to splice this back. It's like I don't even know how to start over. It was so funny.
Those are the best days when you get just a good crew and everybody's having a good time recording it. Those are awesome.
Yeah,
those are awesome.
Not pressure to get it done. We have some people in the chat already. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Mark Livergood says, I see something pretty behind you.
Ooh,
what could that be?
That's a surprise. We gotta go. We're gonna talk about that. That just came in the mail. Ooh.
Oh, that's nice. I think I know what that is. Trying to cover it up. No, there you go.
Ephraim says, that's how I got my beard. November turned into permanent.
We'll see if my wife lets that continue. She tolerates it. It was great at Christmas. My daughters made me this. They have this historical costume company, and they made a Santa Claus costume, kind of like the cool Santa Claus that Kurt Russell did. And so I don't quite have the Goldie locks up there that Kurt Russell has, but
I think it was called the sexy Santa Claus.
The sexy Santa. Yeah, I'm nothing if I'm not sexy.
Hey, you guys got access to all the awesome costumes.
Oh, my daughters are pretty amazing. The things they do. That's pretty fun.
That's great. So, sorry, go ahead. No, I was going to say your Kickstarter is doing you knocked it out of the park. It's doing great.
It's pretty cool. Everybody has just been rallying, and we got off to a really good start. And Kickstarters are a crazy thing because they're such an emotional roller coaster, and you have one great big day, and then you're and then there's well, we're good. And in the middle of the campaign, it's just like, okay, what do I got to do? And we've been pumping like crazy, doing everything we know to get eyes on the campaign, because it's like the better we do as a company, the better this campaign, the more things I'm going to be able to introduce and implement. And otherwise, it just kind of delays it a little bit. So we're really excited to hit some big numbers. And maybe we talked about a stretch goal of $1 million. Maybe something happens to this beard,
Oh.
I'm not getting tattooed in any strange places. I can tell you that.
You want like a face tattoo?
Yeah.
Replace the beard.
Or on a hind pot? No. That's where I draw the line.
You get a top hat on your shoulder though, or something.
Yeah, like kind of like that giant from Jack the Giant Slayer. I could have an extra.
We have a question coming in from Board Game Dungeon saying, if I order a double map bundle, just moved on me. You got more comments coming in. If I order a double map bundle, will the shipping be doubled or will it be cheaper? Well, that is a great question. We actually had it on the stretch goal there, but it can be easy to miss, is that the second mat in that map bundle only has an additional $5 shipping for the US. So it can be a little different internationally, depending on where you are. We have the shipping tables that kind of show the base cost for each mat. But in the US, it's 15, and then the double mat bundle is 20. So you save a little on shipping there.
Yeah, you save about $10, and in Canada, it's just an extra $10, I think, if I remember right. Mark, you're from Canada, right?
Yes, I am. I
got the
definitely
maple leaf on your hat.
Yep. I'm born and raised in Toronto, so I had to support my city, even though I don't live there anymore. I had to move for work, but I gotta.
We're gonna spend some time talking to Mark about his channel and interviewing him. We'll go through a couple quick questions, and then we might just interject in the middle here of our conversations, just so we can get to everybody best we can. We don't want to ignore anyone or anything like that. But if for some reason we miss you, please re-ask the question. If you can stay with us, that's fantastic. Go ahead.
Willie says, Mark's video is great. My wife gave the go-ahead to get a game topper after watching his video.
Woohoo!
Excellent. See, it works.
Yeah.
Comedy works.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Mark, for bringing new people into Game Topper Nation. That's cool.
Well, you guys are not going to be disappointed with the table. Like we're loving our table. And the only issue is we only have one of them. And being that we're a channel and just a gaming couple, we have games that we game for the channel, and we have games that we game for ourselves that we're not going to do content on. So we usually have two tables going at once. So sometimes depending on what game it is, we're moving the topper around, which is easy to do because it breaks up into those two pieces and it's easy to assemble. So we bring it upstairs, downstairs, to the left, to the right, like we're just floating it around the house. So I could definitely see why some people would have, like, if they have the room, if they have the tables to get more than one, I could see where that would come in handy.
It's been kind of a thing. It's been like, we've got a lot of people that own multiple toppers. Lauren Candelinia, he's actually on our Kickstarter page. He's a dentist, and he's got like 4 of them. And Kay King has 4 of them. Jeremy Holmes from Blue Peg Pink Peg has 2, and Jamie Kagi from the Secret Gobal has 2. And I know a bunch of other people backers. Chris Henderson has a couple of them, and because it's going to be like a TV. You need one in every room.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned Jeremy. I talked to Jeremy before deciding which size I wanted because we have the exact same dining room table.
Oh, cool.
We have the same IKEA dining room table. So
Yeah,
that's why I talked to Jeremy. Well, I can't remember what it's called, but I remember seeing the picture. Yeah. and yeah, he was like, "Oh, it's great." I was like, "Perfect. Okay, so it's the Watson. That's what I want." And it's like instinctively, I always want like the biggest one, but it's like, no, okay, what's right for the table? What's right for the space we have? Because like we have one big space and then we have one little nook. So it's like, got to make sure I got one that's like the perfect balance. So
did you get
the Watson fit right in there.
Did you get the accessory rail for the Watson so you could make the 30 by 38 Hudson?
No, we did not. No, we did not. We did not do that. Now, there's a few things since we've had the table that I feel like I've missed out on or that I want since. Like that, the main thing on my list that I saw in the Kickstarter was the dining topper or whatever. What you call that? You know those?
Yep, the dining gaming cover.
Yeah. That Brittany pointed that out, and she's like, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "Ooh, no." So I was like, that is like what I want. I mean, we're always excited about that because we always have so many games going, and it'd be nice to be able to play something like Clank Legacy or have something where we could have it on the go underneath, so we don't have to like put it away, bring it out, put it away, bring it out. We just have it underneath and then lay planks on top and then play on top of that. Like that would be the ideal situation. So we definitely interested in those for sure.
Yeah, we just went through a live question and answer for those of you that haven't seen this yet, but we actually made a dining gaming cover video so you could see how simply it puts on the actual game topper. It also allows you to use an end piece for a DM shelf. If you're doing role-playing games and or a workstation like Josiah, a lot of times actually is working on that when he's at home doing different things. And we have a stretch goal coming up that right now my daughter was actually just working on stuff. I wasn't able to get them uploaded right before the show, but as soon as the show is over, we're going to have some stretch goals on the bottom of the campaign stretch goals where we have done a lot of different things that we want to talk about with the dining cover. And it might actually be kind of a nice little segue if you don't mind talking about it just briefly before we interview you, because I want to respect your time.
Oh, I'm here for you. You need me, I'm here. I got my drinks. I'm good.
Thank you. So basically, I can have Josiah explain a little bit about the math of doing this, but we have a lot of configurations. People, they want the Watson, but then they want to cover the Hudson. Well, they got the Watson with the XL 24-inch leaf, so we want the Watson XL to be covered. We want the Holmes to be covered. Oh, I have the Holmes with the extension leaf. That makes a 3x5. I want the 3x5 to be covered. You know, and it's all these configurations that like, oh, we got a problem. We can't make 20 different covers. So how do we figure this out? So we had this designed and prototyped already. The prototype that we got had a few things that needed tweaking anyway, and that's what prototypes are for. It's a crazy expensive process and timely and irritating because I'm so picky. I got to get it right, you know. But we had a fantastic meeting last week the week before with our engineer that's helped us with the leg kit designs and the original dining covers. And Josiah and him and I, we put our heads together for quite some time working on some mathematics to see if we could accommodate these different things and how that would look. And we actually came up with a crazy good solution that solved almost all the problems. And after talking then to my manufacturers, and this is part of the thought process, in order to make something happen, it's not whether or not we can do it. It's whether or not we can do it affordably. That's always the problem. So I have to think about packaging. How do I get it to you safely? how do we get that done well and not cost an arm and a leg? Packaging is crazy expensive. Our packaging, we go over the top. Our boxes for our toppers, you saw it, you unloaded it, and that was shipped internationally. That's a $35 box. But what did you think about the packaging?
Oh, it worked. It got there. It was great. Everything was packed in there great. And it was good use of space, because I was digging through the box. I pulled it out and I was like, wait a second, wasn't this supposed to be mats? Oh yeah, there they are. I'm like, because the box is huge when you get like the Watson too, right? So my body's like half dug in this box trying to like get it's thin because it's just as big as it needs to be, but like just rooting in there like a ferret down a hole.
Well, likewise, that goes into the equation for the dining cover. And so when we have to do different solutions, it also, what kind of storage bag, how do we make that work for everything? And there's just a lot of dynamic, but I think we came up with something really cool. And I think we've got it reasonably affordable to make this work. And I'll let Josiah explain that a little bit, because he's got a good handle on exactly, he's been working hand in hand with the engineer on making sure this fits all the logistical scenarios also.
Yeah. So, and I think we'll have some new images coming out relatively soon. We have some new renderings that we'll be able to show as well, so
Correct.
People kind of get an idea of what it looks like with the updated design. But we ended up changing the dining covers to have two 15-inch end pieces. And that allows us, the math ended up working out that for both the Watson and the Holmes, your end pieces are 15 inches roughly. There's a little extra sizing in there with, getting the connector leaves and things like that. But they're roughly 15 inches, and that allows us to have 12-inch middle sections. And with 12 inches, we're able to fit a variety of configurations, because like if you have our Lestrade, which is 3 foot by 3 foot, you have the middle section, you have a 1 12-inch leaf, as well as the two 15-inch end sections, and you're covering a Lestrade. And then you add another 2 sections in, and you're covering a 3 by 5, which would be a half a Holmes with a leaf. And then you add one more section and you're fitting the Holmes topper. 2 more sections, you get the Holmes XL. So it just allows that the variability to have all the different sizes covered.
And it even helped out with going with the 3 foot by 4 foot Adler.
Yeah. Yep. You can actually go across the Adler topper as well with a Holmes cover. So there won't likely be a separate Adler cover that we're selling, but you can get the Holmes cover, and all you do is take out one of the 12-inch sections, or 2 of them, I should say.
And that'll be more cost effective than us trying to make a different one and repackaging it and all of that. One of the biggest challenges with the dining cover is, you have packaging. It's heavy. It's a heavy package. This is a different type of MDF that's stronger than normal, that's used for countertops in commercial uses like hospitals and and I've got too many thoughts in my head, and restaurants and hotels and that kind of stuff. It's more expensive than normal. It's not your normal MDF that you can get in 5 foot by 10 foot spaces. And when they cut out a section, they cut out a pattern piece that's actually has a little bit, it's called a blank, that has a little bit larger footprint. So like a bleed in graphics, it's an extra inch all the way around. They cut these blanks and then do the milling. Different manufacturers do it differently, but the math has to work out not only to fit our covers, but to eliminate as much waste as possible. That's the big trick. Well, materials are crazy hard to come by with wood right now. Wood is probably one of the biggest commodities right now in the United States that we're having difficulty with.
I keep seeing all the memes on Facebook where someone's driving with like a load of plywood or a load of 2x4s in a trailer. And so they're like, I saw a millionaire today.
I saw one guy post if he was going to trade his 3/4 inch a 4x8 sheet of plywood for a 1979 convertible fastback Corvette. And he goes, and no low balls. I know what I have here.
Yeah, wood is crazy. It's like I never even thought of like the impact that would have on you guys, because me and Brittany we were looking at getting a house or building a house. And wood is just like ridiculously expensive. It's like 3 to 4 times more expensive than it was. So building a house right now is not even an option. It's just way too crazy expensive. So I could imagine that like that being tough for you guys, and for you guys to be able to still like put things out at the cost you are is great.
Well, it's probably the only thing that's causing me any concern about the Kickstarter campaign is, we knew that the costs were higher. We anticipated we could have some additional costs that would be higher. And I just wanted this thing to be affordable. A solid wood top would cost $500 to $600. And I didn't know that really fit our product as well. While it might match the walnut or it could match the oak, it wouldn't match the aluminum quite as well. And we wanted it to be really cool and slick, really sleek looking. We loved the way our mat racks turned out. We were super happy with the quality of those and the durability. Love that. But, this is the only one thing that causes me any little bit of concern is our material is going to be available, because we are in the middle of a building cycle, and, come late summer, is there materials? Most of my vendors are saying they don't think there's going to be a problem, but everybody is a little uncertain. So that's the only one thing that causes me a little bit of pause, being honest with everybody. A lot of our other things are all in place. This here won't be a problem. Our manufacturers can build it in 4 weeks. It's just sometimes product availability. I can't control any of it. I wish I could. So, but as you guys always know, I am extremely clear and transparent with what happens in all the production. And I feel like we have a really good scenario with all of our fulfillment channels. And I think we're going to really hopefully exceed what everybody wants. But this dining cover, one of the other things is having a player player shelf for DM Vault and for workstation for the end of your table. You're going to see a stretch goal for the 24-inch extension of the 2 12-inch pieces Josiah was talking about, that will add to your existing dining cover, giving you all those possibilities. You're going to see a stretch goal coming in for that right after this campaign. I just messaged Hannah actually to see if she could put it up there. She's a collaborator, but yeah, she's doing it. So it might show up on the campaign. So great to have a family and so great to have a team. And likewise, we are going to have this end piece that maybe you don't want the whole dining cover, but you really like that idea to have a shelf that you can put your armies on or you can DM from. And we're really excited about that option too. And it requires a separate packaging solution. So there's a little extra cost to package it, that kind of thing. But I think it's going to be cool. And a lot of people are going to love that. So that's dining cover solutions. Got a lot of questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll try to get through some of these quick here, and we can talk to Mark some more. Looks like we have a question from Mark here coming up.
Cool.
But sure. First, I have one question from Board Game Dungeon saying he's in Switzerland, back on the mat bundle question. So if I order the double mat bundle and a 3X 4 bag bundle, trying to
maybe he's talking the JJ Burkton 4-pack.
It says 3X. If I order the 2X double mat bundle and the 3X 4 bag bundle, will it all be sent in one box or separate box? So the way our mats ship, no matter how many mats you have, is we end up taping them together. So if you had one mat and you have a second mat, they're already individually packaged. So we combine those boxes using some high quality packing tape that actually has like fiberglass strands that goes through it to keep it from not being like rippable. And so we tape those boxes together. So if you had 2 mats or even 3 mats, they all go together. And we always do our best to combine anything we ship into the smallest package possible, because that saves us money and it also saves you money.
Exactly.
So we're always taking that into account when we create our shipping rates. The final shipping rates will be in the Pledge Manager, and those all take into account what we think we can do to package whatever items you have into the most condensed packaging. So we have a question from Jody.
Hey, Jody, how you doing, brother?
For Mark. So do you have a this versus that for Berkey and Josiah?
Well, if Berkey and Josiah want to come on, we can, because the way, if anybody's watching and wondering what this versus that is just a series we've just, or a segment we just started on Board Game Coffee. And basically we bring people from different channels together. So we had, we had Bonacor and Jamie together. And we also had David from Man vs. Meeple and Paul Grogan from Gaming Rules. We had them together, and basically we bring up 10 games. So I present them with 10 games, and like 2 at a time, and they have to choose which one is erased from existence. So there's a conversation. So basically they go on, they make their pick. So it could be something like Gloomhaven versus Too Many Bones. Which one is eradicated forever? And it's again, it's a gun to your head situation. It's not like, because these guys, like, they'll be presented with games that they both like, but you have to choose one. One has to go. And then if it's a tie, I listen to their arguments and I make the final decision. So that's what this versus that is. And it's a new segment, so we've only done 2 episodes so far. So yeah, we could bring you guys on, but since you guys aren't from the same channel, we'd have you guys on one side. We'd pair you up with somebody else.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you're open,
well, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, especially having Josiah. He, our game playing has not been as frequent as it used to be for a lot of folks. But we did do what was called Relevance Fridays, and so we would take our team. Joseph works at the shop with us. And we would cut off at about 3 o'clock on Fridays so that we could stay relevant with the hobby and play a game together. And so we have gotten a few games in, but gaming groups, of course, we haven't been getting together, and we've been working like a dog to make cool gaming upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, Kickstarters are a lot of work.
Oh man!
You'll
never know the half of it.
I've never done one myself. I've pitched in with videos, but I've never worked on one myself. But everybody I've talked to, I know some people who are going through with some right now, and they're putting stuff together, and they're just sweating. They're like, "This is so much work," and I was like, "Yeah, I know. I told you before we started, or before you started. There's going to be a lot of work." And I was like, "I can't help you. I have no experience, except I know I've just heard the stories. That is just so I appreciate all the work that people go into. I don't think everybody understands like how much goes into a successful Kickstarter. You see all that page and all those deals, and you're like, oh, this is easy. You just post it and it's done." But no, yeah, you guys done a great job.
Thank you. It is a massive thing to do Kickstarter, and I learned so much from Jamie Stegmeyer, Stonemaier Games. I listened to his audiobook twice, read most of his blogs, I think all of them, but I was gleaning information. I had been a backer, so I kind of knew what not to do and what to do, some of those things, but kept learning more intricacies. One of the big takeaways for me was to be responsive to customers' questions. And sometimes it's exhausting answering the same question, especially if we have it in a fact or if we have it in the text somewhere. But the customer is looking at it, and there's so much stuff. Our stuff is we got so much stuff. How do you read it all? I can't read it all. It's like I know it all, but it's like, good grief. So every person's question is important to me, and so we've always made a commitment to be extremely responsible. It's exhausting. I mean, I was up the other night till 11:30, and I woke up and I had 8 emails. It's like, well, I'm just going to whack them out real quick, and boom, answered everybody's questions. But it's because we care. We want to answer your questions, concerns, and we want you to know that we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. And we want you to know that. And I think a lot of our backers, they know how much we do care. And we go over and above to take care of people.
Well, the influence of the community is huge. Like, you got to keep everybody happy. Like, I don't think like people who've been in the industry know. Like, people who've been in here doing this for a while, they know. You people don't, like, who are new and just coming in, think they're going to just put something up on Kickstarter and make $1 million. They don't necessarily appreciate the fans. You have to. You're not just putting out a product and selling it to just people. You're selling it to people who, like, to fans, to people, they have like an invested interest in this. They love this hobby, right? And their voices carry. So you gotta be responsive to those people.
No, exactly. And I've said this before, but we have two philosophies in business. And the first one is to treat other people as I want to be treated. And then secondly, to give the customer more than they expect. And so I've tried to implement that in all of my business philosophy, and I've run several successful businesses. Likewise, Josiah and I have talked about this at nauseum, I think, when it came to me teaching him, and he already had an innate thoughtfulness, but in like, what are our policies? How are we going to take care of the backer? How are we going to correspond? What does our customer service look like? All of those procedures. We had just a beautiful review from a customer today on the Kickstarter comment section, Sasha, where I had spoke to him. He's from California, and he had a kind of a unique situation, and we ended up accommodating something that we were able to do for him, and he was so appreciative, and he talked about it. And I've suggested to Josiah many times, I don't care how big we get. I said, we're not going to treat people like Amazon. We're not going to have autoresponders. We're not going to, I understand why those bigger companies at the volume and scale they are at do that, but I really want to not treat people antiseptically. I want them to know that there's a person here that cares. We can't work 24/7. And I know we aren't always going to get back to a support email on Sundays. Last night I took some time with my family, all my daughters and my wife, for Mother's Day. And, I'm not going to just do it every day of every waking hour, but you're going to get a response unless we make a mistake,
Well, my experience, since I've met you has always been very pleasant, Berkey.
Thank you.
So, thank you. You've earned that beard. You got the whole Santa Claus costume going on.
I do. The girls made one. Jody had a comment there. We met Jody. I'll just say this before you go to his comment, but we met Jody at PAX Unplugged a couple of years ago, and him and his wife helped us tear down our site. Just as they loved what we were doing, and they were just such lovely people. And he's always jumping in here saying, what can he's just all so excited about what we're doing. And I just want to thank you, Jody, for all your help and just all your encouragement. Just to give you a little shout out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Jody says that new leg kit bag looks really good. You guys keep knocking it out of the park.
Well, it's kind of funny. Those of you might know Forrest Bauer from Forrest Bauer Corner. He does critiques of Kickstarters. You want to talk about an emotional roller coaster? Pour your life into a Kickstarter for 3 months and see somebody get on there and start chewing on it. You want to talk about a ride? I mean, I went from the heights of glory to being depressed out of my mind to so grateful I couldn't imagine it to like, how do I put a pick through my forehead? It was a ride, I'm telling you. Well, when it all was said and done, he had some awesome things to say. I learned a lot, actually, and I even listened to a few things and made some changes. So I was very appreciative. But he made a comment going through all of our stuff. He goes, wow, look at this. Wow, look at this. Wow, look at this. He said, either Berkey is really good at what he does, or he just listens a lot to his customers. And I went, well, I hope I'm good at what I do. I care. I'm a gamer, so it's stuff I'm going to want. But really what it is I try to listen. And I can't always do everything. That's the tension. There's just this tension because people want things, and I'm listening, but I can't always do it because of the feasibility of business practice. And I need to make good business decisions so I can stay here for you. I can't just fill up my warehouse with all kinds of crap and just spend all kinds of money, because I am not Amazon. But when we can, I'm going to do the best I can. And that bag was a constant comment. What can you do about this leg kit bag so we have a portable? You're taking your game topper to a convention, taking it to a game night, but we want to bring the legs with. Well, we need to do that safely. And so I said, yeah, we got to figure this out.
Okay. I see. Board Game Dungeon was clarifying his question before. If you ordered 2 double mat bundles, 4 mats in total, will it double the shipping cost? So essentially it wouldn't quite be double, because there's different breakpoints, and it's quite complex when it comes to the shipping, but you end up saving things by combining into less packages, because it doesn't necessarily double your cost to double the weight or the size of the package. But sometimes you'll hit certain breakpoints and then it can get really expensive or just unwieldy and things like that. So for specifically 4 mats, it wouldn't be I'm trying to think now. But even there, it'd be 4 mats essentially. If the double mat bundle, I'm going to use the US for an example because those are the numbers I have on the top of my head. But in the US, the double mat bundle is $20, and then 4 mats would actually not quite be 40 of that. Yep. So it doesn't quite double. So there is definitely some savings.
It's a ton cheaper than buying 4 individually, which would cost $60. So you definitely get combined shipping is the point. And we do the best we can. Our fulfillment partner in Germany that handles the EU, Fulfillment Europe, has been fantastic. We've got great rates. They do a lot of business. We had 0 failures in any of our deliveries. Our Canadian partner with Pick and Pack Logistics has gone really well. Those rates have been very affordable. We're at the top tier of our UPS rates here for our region. And last year we spent over $250,000 in shipping costs. It's pretty much a net zero. We make nothing. It's nice on the balance sheet. It's nice seeing that revenue coming in, but there's no money being made. It just looks good, like there's some money coming in. But we're doing pretty well. So I think you can have confidence that we're always thinking like you're thinking. I'm not thinking, well, just charge them whatever, no. How do we consolidate this package? How do we do things that save people shipping? Because that's what I want done to me, right? The packages, particularly the Scotland Yard package, the elementary package with the Adler. The Scotland Yard has the Watson. The Baker Street package has the Sherlock Holmes topper. The Reichenbach Falls has the Mycroft Moriarty combination. And we've specifically designed those packages and even the support packages inside to have the cup holders, to have those extra accessories, and all the things that we're including in all these stretch goals fit in that same package, so you don't have separate shipping charges. So the package price, it costs us the same amount to ship a topper just all by itself as it does to ship you that whole package with the bag, with all of that stuff. So it's a huge value to buy the package from the value you're getting on all that stuff comparing to buy it separately, but also the shipping is significantly less. So that was the thought process.
We have some more questions here, but I'm just going to hit a couple of comments, people responding to what we said. So Jody says, thanks, Berkey. It's my pleasure. He said, I've never seen a team as responsive on Kickstarter comments as you guys. It shows in your dedication. Saswada is here in the chat.
Hey,
about Saswada's comment on the Kickstarter. Thanks
so much for posting. That was really encouraging. Mondays are quite a day, and that was really a joy to read.
Ryan says, Mark, your Game Toppers promo video was really cleverly done. Nice to see you on the show today. At Berkey, take a day off.
Oh, I wish.
Thanks, Ryan.
I want a day off so bad. I want a week off so bad.
Board Game Dungeon has a couple more questions, but says, as a customer from your previous campaign, I really appreciate the efforts made to rectify an issue I had. You guys are one of the few companies that stands as a wonderful example to other companies.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And then a couple other questions Board Game Dungeon had. The 4-bag bundle, is the cost $29.95 regardless of the size of the bags? And yes, it is. So they all cost us about the same to make, so they're just have the same price there.
Okay.
Also, is there a bag for the Mycroft XL? So the way that one actually works is the Mycroft itself comes in 3 pieces. So you have the 2 ends, which if you put together is the 4-foot by 4-foot Moriarty, and that has its own storage bag that is
setting up in here.
Yeah, 2 compartments to fit in the 2 halves.
Yeah.
It also comes with a leaf to make it the 4x6 Mycroft, and that has its own bag already. So it just helps keep the weight down, because with the 4-foot span, that gets pretty heavy. If you tried to put all 3 sections in one bag, it's almost impossible for one person to do that. So with the smaller bag, having it in 2 separate bags, you can easily carry it with 1 person. So if you got the XL Mycroft, you'd be getting another leaf, and that could also get its own bag. So you'd end up having the separate bags there. We do also sell the storage bag separately. So if you wanted just to have 2 bags for your Mycroft XL, you could buy another Moriarty bag and put both your leaves in there.
True.
So if you wanted to have a double.
That was one of the really cool design changes on the Mycroft. It used to be 2 3-foot by 4-foot pieces, but by adding our extension leaf invention that we did last that was able to carry over to Watson and Holmes, all of this carried over. And so it allowed us to make a separate storage bag for that leaf. But that Moriarty bag, for instance, compared to the old Mycroft bag, that old Mycroft bag hardly would ever fit in a car. I remember being at Dice Tower Con, and we sold a couple of those, and they said, "Oh yeah, it'll fit in the car." And I made this comment. It was so funny. I said, "Well, this is not a Prius-friendly product." And she goes, "Oh, I have a Prius." And I said, "It ain't gonna fit." And she goes, "Oh, I got this big harp that I carry in it. It ain't gonna fit." And she goes, "You trust me, it'll fit." So we got it in there, and we got it in there in some crazy concoction thing, but it was like, these are big, big pieces. And the Moriarty made it so much easier. So that was cool.
Yep. Trent has a question. Any plan on a leg kit bundle? Like a Holmes would need a total of 8 legs and 1 brace to make 2 Lestrades.
Woo-hoo! You will notice at the bottom of the Kickstarter campaign, can you see that? There's the campaign. If you look at the bottom, you're going to see a new stretch goal that we just launched at $635,000. Wait for it. You're going to get an extra support with lateral cross supports and a 2-pack of legs with brackets and all the hardware. And you're going to be able to add that so that you can do your support for your XL topper. But if you want to support both of your smaller toppers, like the Lestrades, like you take your Holmes, you have 2 accessory rails, and we just unlocked that double rail bundle, by the way. Congratulations. That's a great deal. All of a sudden, now you can have 2 Lestrades. If you're going to be using the Holmes, it's easier just to leave the leg bracket in the corner, the 2 corners, and then just buy another leg kit. And that'll come with its own bag that you're going to have as an option, you see as a stretch goal. And it'll just be a lot easier just to get 2 kits.
Jody says, Relevance Fridays, that sounds like a great team building.
They just think they're my game slaves, but they're not.
Chris Goodlet says, yay to Mark Maia being on.
Woohoo! Yay, Chris.
So let's talk to Mark a little bit while some other questions start gathering. Did you have more?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just a couple more to finish real quick. Board Game Dungeon says, thanks for answering all my questions. Sorry for posting so many. Keep up the great work. Glad to help. Glad to answer the questions. Skull Hydra says, if I get a Holmes and attach the leg kit, how easy is it to split the table apart if I want to use a rail to turn half of it into a Lestrade for our ottoman?
It's super simple. You essentially are just going to unscrew the legs for that type of solution, but adding the extension rail, it has 2 thumb screws that go onto half of your topper, and that's just super simple. With the extra bracket, if you wanted to make that a leg kit bracket, is that way I'm reading it?
So yeah, so I think if you had the Holmes standing alone as a standalone table with the leg kit, you would have to remove the center bracket,
the center support. Yeah.
And once you've removed that, you can attach the rail and then have that. And if you could either put corner brackets on and legs to make the Lestrade separate, or in your case, wanting to put it on an ottoman, you just take off the 2 legs by unscrewing them. So,
and I think for our experience, it's not like we've put them on and taken them off 100 times. Okay, we haven't done that. But from what we have done many times, it's pretty easy to put the corner brackets on and put the legs on. And taking the legs off is super simple. Taking that center support is a little fiddly because you just got to line up the holes. And so it's not brain surgery, it's just fiddly. So I just be honest with people about that it's not going to cause you problems, but if you don't like fiddly things and you don't want to sit and screw around with it to take it off, then it's going to be decide how often you want to do that. Putting the rail on half of a topper is crazy simple, and everybody loves that feature. I mean, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but it's like 60% of our backers buy these rail bundles, and it's because they love that functionality.
Chris says, who wins more games, Brittany Maia or Mark Maia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I'd say overall, I win more, but we do have games that kind of the other one dominates in. For example, Brittany cannot beat me at Terraforming Mars, and she'll challenge me back to back to back. Like we played one day till like 5 a.m. of her just trying to beat me. And the closest she's ever gotten was we had a 4-player game going. It was a 4-player, 5-player. We had a 5-player game going. I think it was. I can't remember. We maxed it out, and 2 people left because I don't remember if they were playing together or they were playing their own section, but they left. So it just left me, Brittany, and Chris, who's like our regular, who was actually on the Game Topper video. And it was just us playing. And I was like, oh, well, we should restart. And Brittany's like, no. I got you on this one. And I was like, but they left. Like, it's going to seriously change a lot of your cards. And she would not have it. She's like, no. I got you. I've got you. But she had a lot of cards based on like, you get points based on like multiple people doing this. I was like, well, 2 people left. So she wouldn't listen. So all right, you want to keep playing? Let's keep playing. I beat her by 1 point. And she just gets so upset. And but there's things like photosynthesis. I cannot beat her at photosynthesis. And I don't know why. I don't know. Like, she just crushes me. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Apparently I don't understand how the sun works. Like, I can't do it. But
well, just in our, I've not met Brittany, in person or anything, or you in person, but with all of our correspondence, she seems like she's super detailed and really on top of things. But when I saw your video, good grief, she's funny. I mean, when she had that comment where she goes, I never have to use my hands. I about snorted out my coffee. It was so funny.
What was awesome is actually one of the things that we kind of overlooked when we were getting the Game Topper was the fact that there was a little groove to put our cards. Like, we didn't even think about it. It was like, hey, maybe we should, because our table got rounded ends. I was like, hey, it'll be bigger. The cup holders were a big plus for me. Like, because I hate having cups on the table. There's a rule, no cups on the gaming table. So the cup holders are huge thing. And then it came and I saw the little groove and I was like, I put my cards down and Brittany's sitting across the table from me. She's like, what just happened? And I was like, try it. And then she did. And then she was like, oh my God. And so it's funny because she'll be playing and she'll keep putting her hands down. She was like, I think this is my favorite feature. She just keeps putting her cards in the thing. But yeah,
Well,
so
we made those card slots intentionally to be able to also handle tiles. So even if you're collecting victory point, cardboard or something like that, you can line them up in the slot, and you can even have bigger boards and stuff. So it's pretty fun.
Like Carcassonne tiles, if you had your hand at Carcassonne tiles, things like that, you can put them in there. So
yeah, they're great. We use it like crazy. I love that little setup. And it's funny because when I saw, like, I think on like BGG, you could buy on the store, you could buy little things to those little rubber things to put your cards in that hold it. Basically, that do that. It's little rails. And I was like, the hell do I need those for? Like, that was my initial thing. What the hell do I need those for? And then once I got the table that had the rails built in, basically, like, it's like, now you have them. And I used them, and I was like, I was wrong. I need these things. So that's why we put the line in. I don't ever have to use my hands again, or I'll never use my hands again.
It was awesome. It just made me laugh. Chris says that he uses Tesoro tiles during his live stream, so that's pretty cool. Well, tell us a little bit, Mark, about Board Game Coffee, and I was just introduced to you maybe just a little over, I don't know, 8-10 months ago or whatever long ago it was, but tell us a little bit about your channel, because it's really growing. I see you're just doing a lot of fun stuff, and can see how your personalities really shine through, and people are just loving what you do.
Yeah, well, Board Game Coffee, like, it actually started as something Brittany wanted to do. And as in, she wanted me to do it. So she was like, we should do this, and you should be in front of the camera. And I said, no. I said, I was like, I have no interest in being in front of the camera. I don't want to do it. And she asked me over and over again, turned her down over and over again. And then one day I was like, okay, fine. So we did, and we've been doing it ever since. But yeah,
fine.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't watched or if anybody listening hasn't watched the channel before, we do reviews, previews, playthroughs, how to plays. We actually have a how to play coming out tomorrow, and we even made our little custom. I don't know if you've seen our little custom game topper thing that comes out, a little animation and leaves a smoke trail when it leaves. Just updated that to say "taught" on a game topper. Cool, so we got a how to play for castle with a brand new castle panic coming out tomorrow. But the thing is, when we started doing our show, it was basically it went along the path of how a lot of people's other shows are. Just was in front of the camera and I was talking, and then it started getting a little more jokey. And then now if you watch our shows, if you watch our previews or our reviews, there's a lot of skits in them. And it was funny because a lot of people at the time were like, hey, you kind of remind me of Shut Up and Sit Down. This was like back when we were like 500 subs. And I remember I was like, who Shut Up and Sit Down? Like, I had no idea who they were, because I was into board games, but I wasn't really following a whole lot of board game media myself. I wasn't. And then when I found this whole world of board game media, I just like dove right in. And then I was like, oh, I see why people like have compared it to Shut Up and Sit Down, because they're different. They do like skits and jokes and stuff. And I was like, well, we were doing that anyways. Like, we started doing, so it was a coincidence. So we weren't trying to like copy them, but it was just, I guess we have a similar sense of how we want to do things. So that's how we keep our channel different. We do a lot of jokes and skits, and that's how I like to do it. I know Brittany's told me to, she's like, maybe you should, like, calm down, just do it simpler. We can get more videos out sooner. And I was like, I can't. I want to do it. Like, I'm an artist at heart. So I just want to do things all the way through, even if it's not as, like, in all honesty, a lot of those videos would probably get just the same amount of views if I just was a talking head sitting in front of a camera. And if I did the more, I could probably even get more views. But I enjoy the artistry of it, right? Even though it's cheesy. It is cheesy. It's all like, I'm a little cheesy in person, but I'm not that cheesy. A lot of it is. But it's great. Like, we do, I feel like ours, I want to continue offering something different, even if that does not work with the YouTube algorithm that says you get more views by doing more stuff. And that is the case. That's just that's how it works. You get more views, you get more attention by putting out more videos constantly, because then they're like, hey, it works into their algorithm and they show your video more. And we tried to do it, but it's stressful enough. It's a stressful thing getting into board game media. And now what's great is I met a lot of people in the board game media network, and they've been great. Like all these people with other channels and podcasts, and everybody's just sorry, they're all just awesome. Like I loved everybody, and I've never had like a bad experience meeting anybody. It's such a great community to be in, and I understand when they say it's like stressful. It can be stressful. It's fun, but it's stressful. So
yeah, you're striving for excellence and you want to do well, and that creates a pressure. And then likewise, when you got to do it this way to get noticed or whatever, it creates a pressure. But I think one thing I've noticed about it, and I know Jody commented, he said your production value is top notch. And that's immediately what I thought. Boy, are you guys, I mean, are you graphic artists by design? Have you had video editing skills? Because your stuff is really nicely done. I mean, I can tell you care.
Well, thank you very much. We actually don't have, here's the thing. My day job, for the last 21 years, over 21 years, I've been in the video game industry.
Oh,
so I started as an animator / artist. I was doing animating. I was doing pixel art. I was doing some 3D animations, background paintings, etc., things like that. And I've been doing that. I worked into game design. So I've been working professionally in the video game industry for 21 years. But I never did any video editing, but I'm familiar with like Adobe Photoshop. So I just kind of taught myself how to do video editing. And then I taught Brittany how to do it so she could help me edit the video so we can get them out. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is self-taught. It's not something I knew. Like I didn't know anything about YouTube. I didn't know anything about editing video. I've written scripts for video games, but I've never written scripts for myself or how to review something. Like I've never done that. So it was a lot of just like trial by fire. Like our first video that we put out was an unboxing. I think it was like 9 minutes, an unboxing of Rising Sun. And we did it on the fly. We recorded it on my iPhone, edited it on my iPhone, and posted it from my iPhone that night. Like we used iMovie on my iPhone. That was the first video we've ever done. And now if we were to do an unboxing of Rising Sun now, it'd be like 2 hours because our videos, our unboxings are really detailed. Like they're 4K and they're super detailed. And we've gotten attention for that. Like a lot of people like the detail because if you don't really want to see the 2 hours of it, you can just skip to the minis if that's what you want to see. We have like indexing below, and so you can just jump to that and see the cool stuff if you want. But I just really like unboxing videos. I don't like editing them so much, but I do like doing them because I like unboxing things. It's like Christmas.
Well, I think you're doing a great job and really, really bring something fresh, which is really it's always fun. I'm super glad to have gotten to know you a little bit and connect with you. I can't wait till we get to some conventions and get to meet up. Agreed.
You've been great, Berkey. And I did see you at Origins, but you were busy with people. This was before we got a game topper, and I remember that was the first time I've actually seen game toppers like physically, like up front, touching them and like actually seeing them. And I remember walking into it, and I didn't even realize it was like when I first walked in, I was like, what am I looking at? What game is this? Like, I didn't realize it was set up for like to showcase the tables. I was like, what studio is this? What games are here? Like, what's happening? And then I was like, oh, that's the tables. And I was like, well, these are nice. I was like, what are these? And then I noticed it was the game toppers. And I was like, I guess these are a lot nicer than I thought they were going to be, because you hear about gaming tables. Because I remember seeing them back when I go to video games conferences, again, being in the video game industry, I used to go to video game conferences, but I did go to PAX one time. It wasn't PAX Unplugged. It was one of the regular PAXs, and they had their board game section. And they had this one person selling, this was years ago, selling like custom board game tables. And I was like, oh, that's a really nice table. Like, how much is that? And did the math. It was like $5,000 before shipping. Like, because it was ridiculous. Right, I was like, okay, that's a really nice table, but that's going to stay there. I just gave into like this clearly just isn't for me. This isn't something I'm ever gonna have, right? So then I went to and I saw Game Toppers, but I didn't actually know what it was in, because in my head I already wrote off what was possible for me to own as a gaming table, right? And then and honestly, I was like, I didn't know what the quality was going to be. I was kind of wrote everything off as far as tabletops. And I went to Origins and I was like, these are really nice. And I was like, hold on, I'm so confused on the title. I was like, these are Game Toppers? Is this a whole table? Like, what's happening? What's going on? Like, I never actually looked in, nothing about it. I never looked at it and being like, there's something fishy with this table. I just never questioned it. I never looked that if it was on a folding table. I never looked what it was on. I was just like, this is a really nice table. I was like, I'm not exactly sure how this works anymore. Like, you guys threw me for a loop when I saw it, because my expectations, like, admittedly were lower because I didn't know what to expect. And I think that was me doing a disservice to you, because you guys are awesome. Like, I love the Game Topper. And when I saw them there, I thought they were awesome. And I was like, these are really nice. I remember calling Chris over because Brittany was gone. She was like mingling somewhere. And Chris was with me. He was like our cameraman for Origins. I was like, I think we might have we have so much like small footages of or Origin visit. I think there's a Game Topper section when we were there. And I was like, these are really nice. And I really liked them from that point on.
There's something clicking now. Did we interview?
No, we didn't do an interview because you were busy. So there was so much, and you guys were close to the front.
Yeah, we were up in the big hall. We had a big 20 by 30 foot booth by the board game room.
Yeah,
because we did a 3-year sponsorship with Origins where the whole board game library has 350 mats on all of the table with their logo, with Crit, the logo, their former logo. And it totally fixed all the problems with those tables that were all splintery. And it was just really great working with the new director, John Stacy. And so we have a big spot in that hall, and we're hoping to be there again this year. So you plan on going to Origins this year, or?
If we're allowed to leave the country, yes.
Okay.
Right now we can't even leave. Like, our borders are closed, so we can't go anywhere. There's like loopholes, but they don't work very well. Like, it's like you have to go somewhere, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks or something. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy here. So if the borders open up, yes, I definitely, absolutely want to go to Origins. No question. I was talking to Jamie and Bonacor about this actually when we recorded our This Versus That episode. And and you know what? Every time somebody asks me about, because once people saw I did the video for the Game Topper, for the Game Topper Kickstarter, they were asking me, so like, you have one of these? I was like, yeah. I was like, it's in the video. That was my table. And I was like, yeah, it's a great thing. And it's funny because I break it down to them. I was like, in case you're like me, here's the deal. It's the thing that goes on top of your table. It's got these pads, and it's like, it doesn't stick, but it's got like a good grip, and it sticks on the table, and it's solid. It's like, it's metal. Mine's got like a wooden insert in there, and it feels like a solid table. And the mats are awesome. They're a bit of addicting because I've got the two, and I feel like I'm cheating on the mat if I use one more than the other. And it's like this whole thing. And so, but Dude, I am 100% like an ambassador for you guys. I think it's what you guys like figured out to do is great, because everybody's always wanted a game table, but they've never been really affordable, and you guys have done that, and it's a quality thing. It's not like a fold out, like it's one of those folded, like it's all plastic and rickety, and you touch it and it sounds echoey. I got the wording from you so I could put it in the video because I wanted to comment on the quality. And you said it was military grade steel or aluminum. Sorry, military grade aluminum. Yeah. So I was like, because that's when I messaged you. I was like, Berkey, what is this made out of? Because I was like, I want to put it in the video because it seems so sturdy. Yeah. And the last thing I'm going to say about it, well, unless anybody has more questions, is we had it on our dining room table, and we had Brittany's parents come over, and it was this was a while back. This was when the lockdown let up a bit. It was her mom, her dad, her grandma. They came over, and they casually came over, and they sat at the table that I was sitting there because I was there. They don't play a lot of board games, so I was like, I'm gonna get you guys to play. Let's play a good old game of euchre. Let's just play some euchre. So they came up to the table, and they started rubbing the mat, and they're like, "Is this a new table?" And they're like, "Well, yes and no. Our old table's still underneath this. This is a new table topper. It sits on top of the table, and they loved it. And they were, even her grandma came over and she's like, "That's a really nice table." And she's all rubbing it, and yeah, it was just great. So everybody likes it right away. Everybody who sits down in front of it, they know where to go. Like they're the usuals to the house. They know where to go. They take their chair, they sit down, and there's this moment where they look down and they're like, "This is a nice table. Where's your table?" So it's always been good. It's been successful. So yeah, we love ours. I can't say it enough that like if you haven't gotten one, you should definitely, like if you're considering getting a table, you should definitely look at game toppers. Like you did a great job. And actually, one of the things I remember listening to Monsieur Cabal, I was listening to Jamie, and they were talking about the mats and how much he loved the mats. And didn't he have a story about taking him to the shower? And then now I have this image of like Jamie in the shower with a mat. I was like, I don't want but yeah, it was because of that story that I noticed that we got a little bit of like, it's like dust or crap or something on the table. We got something on the mat, and I was like, damn it. I was like, hold on. So I got like a little damp cloth and I wiped it down. I was like, easy. There you go. All done. So it was good. Anyways, that's I mean, I could talk forever. Any questions, please?
That's great.
Go ahead.
That's fantastic. I noticed we did have a question about we've just put up some new stretch goals. And if you have some questions from Mark, please throw them in there. It sounds like he's happy to answer any of your questions, and he's just hanging with us today. Thank you.
No problem.
But we've put a couple new stretch goals, and this was in response to seeing what we could do to help you all. You'll notice that at 550,000, which we're really moving nicely today. You're going to get the dining cover, gaming cover. Kevin, talk words today. The dining cover storage bag. It's super awesome. It has this 1/2-inch padded foam in it. It has dividers that are padded, so it protects all of your leaves. I refer to this as a must-add item. I really highly recommend it. I discounted the price on these 50%. The margin that we have in this is not good. Getting these big bags are crazy expensive. The shipping is crazy expensive for us to get them here. It's normally these bags are $79, and you can get it with your dining cover for $39. But the powder coat that's on these dining covers, it's a little abrasive when you put it next to one another. Even cardboard is abrasive when you put it next to, finished product. And so that's why we always carefully package our stuff in plastic. Well, this has these awesome dividers that will keep your leaves protected. I highly recommend it. We have a stretch goal coming up that I just saw it. It looks like I've lost it. Oh, Mark, if you could put up Mark's. He says he's looking forward, and this segues into what I was just referring to. He's looking forward to the new satchel bundle. If you go down the stretch goals, we've got the leg kit bag there. We also have the Lord Burton mat rack bundle where you get 6 mats and the rack, a crazy good deal. But then you're going to see that we have taken care of what we were just talking about with all of our XL backers and backers that want to accommodate their Lestrade, their Hudson, their Adler, their 3x5. We have also have those 2 12-inch leaves at the $625,000 stretch goal. And those are available there to unlock. Also, the leg kits for the XL solutions. But then the satchel bundle for the Watson and the Holmes. This is something that I put together. People said, we want a dining cover. We want a leg kit. Can you make us a deal? And I'm going, I already made you a deal. My Kickstarter prices are crazy good. I know what my costs are, and I know that I can't keep this price forever. In fact, after about 5 to 6 weeks after the campaign surveys have gone out, some of these stretch goals are going away. I can't do it long term. I did it because I wanted to reward my backers. So I go, okay, how do I make it better without losing my tail? And so I thought long and hard about it. Well, then all of a sudden we started making these bags, and I love these bags. I thought, well, people really should have them anyway. Honestly, they're so good, and they'll protect your product. It'll make it easier for you to transport it, all of those things. So we thought, well, let's make a bundle. My daughter came up with the name, the Satchel Bundle. Of course, we have to stay Sherlock Holmesian, right? What happens on that bundle is you're going to get, with the Watson, you're going to get both of those products, the leg kit for the Watson, the dining cover storage bag, and the leg kit bag. And you're going to get that all for $459. Most people spend $459 just to get a cover for their table, or even more. But you're going to get the legs with it and both the storage bags. That's like, it's over $50 of savings. And I just thought, if we can hit a bigger number, I'm going to do this for my backers, but this is going to be a tight time frame to just give back another way. And likewise with the homes, you get that bundle for $509, and again, saving another $50. It's a big deal. And I hope you guys help us push through so we can hit some numbers so that it makes it worthwhile. And I think it's going to be kind of a cool thing. I have other stretch goals beyond this that are going to give back even more in the packages. I'm hoping we can keep our momentum going. And I know the last 4 days, we're going to hit some decent numbers. So I'm not afraid of these numbers, but I want to do a lot more.
Dirk says, Mark, I watched your GKR video to learn/decide on getting it last year. Super entertaining.
So was that the how to play or the review? Because if it's just a review, watch the how to play if you need to learn how to play. I watch my own how to plays because I forget. Like, I've watched my own how to play for Rising Sun. I don't know how many times. It was like our third video that we've ever put together, because I can't hold how to play a game in my head for more than, I don't know, a week and a half, and then it's gone.
Oh, good. I thought it was me.
I don't even understand, man. I've played with here's Daryl Andrews, designer of Sagrada.
Oh, I love Daryl.
Yeah, so Daryl lives like an hour away from me. So before we were all locked down, Daryl used to come over here. We used to have like all day gaming days, and the amount of games he's just got stored up in his head that aren't his. He's actually worse at teaching his own games than he is other people's. Like, because he'd look on the shelf and he's like, "Oh, Ethnos, I love that." I was like, "Yeah, we've never played." He's like, "Oh, you want to play? I'll teach you." I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And he's like, he'd keep doing that. He's like, "Oh, yeah, this you want to play that? Yeah, I'll teach you how to play." And I was like, "How do you do it?" Like right now, I could probably teach you how to play Castle Panic, because we just did the how to play, and I could teach you how to play Solomon Kane. That's it. That's it. This, none of these. I could tell you how to play none of these, and I've played them all many times.
I know, it's just like it becomes an overload, and I look at all these games on my shelf, and some of them I remember all the experiences usually, but it's like the details of the rules. They just go out. Now this guy, that's a whole nother story. I've never seen anything like it. He'll teach us games, read rule books, and blow my mind how well he does it and understands the mechanics, and likewise to reteach. But it's always still, for me, reading rules is a chore. I don't like it. I can do it, but I don't like it. And he does it way better. So whenever he does, it's always very, very appreciated.
Oh, it's sorry, I was going to say between the two, like me and Brittany, I read all the rules, so I teach her how to play, and she picks up on it quick, and she's a good player, so that's not a problem. So it always surprises me that I've got her to read a rule one time, read a rule book, because she's never done it, and it was for photosynthesis, ironically, the game that I can never beat her at, and it's like, I don't know, what was that thing, like two or three? Oh no, my camera fell. 1 second. It's like 2 or 3 pages. Sorry, my camera fell over. And
We could move.
And she read it for a bit, and we zoomed. Sorry. She read it. I left her with it for about an hour. It was like 2-3 pages. Left her with her for about an hour. I came upstairs, sat down. I was like, "You ready?" She's like, "Yes." We sat down. I was like, "All right, how do you win?" And I was like, "How do you get points?" That was my first question. And she's like, "I don't think it says." I was like, "What?" It's like, I was like, "I've never looked at this book. I'm guaranteeing you, it says. It definitely says." So, needless to say, that was her first and last attempt at ever reading a rule book. So,
one of the little interesting things I've found, because I've done a small amount of play testing, is because you kind of mentioned designer having a harder time teaching his own games, is sometimes there's just so many iterations and rule changes that happen over time, it gets hard to remember. And all of a sudden you're trying to like remember what actually got released.
yeah. And that's exactly what he says. That's exactly what Daryl says. It's like, oh, he said it was like this at one point, but
Daryl was so great. We made him some custom mats for Maple Games when he was president of that, when he first started that, and he got a couple of our toppers. And I remember, this is a fun little story, but Daryl and I did business together in the swimming pool at Dice Tower Con. Now, it was actually business. So he's out there swimming, and I go, "Hey, aren't you Daryl Anders?" He goes, "Aren't you Berkey?" "Yeah." And we just hit it off, and we had this awesome chat. He goes, "I've been wondering if could you help me with some mats?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I should probably get one of your tables." And I said, "I know a guy." And we just hit it off, and we've been really good friends ever since. And so,
Daryl's great.
I love Daryl to death.
So who had the best Speedo? I'm assuming that's how I picture you guys both. In the pool.
Well, I don't do
Speedos.
Speedos. That's an ugly thing, but his was luxuriant.
Stained glass.
No, that's not good.
Good Day Games says, "Hi, Game Toppers."
Good Day Games. Is that from Down Under? Good day, mate. Maybe not.
Also says, "Have you made a Fury of Dracula mat?"
Yeah.
We have not at the moment. Ryan has a good point, though. He says the adventure mat is perfect for Fury of Dracula because it's kind of like a world map in an old style,
That's
parchment
true.
map.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Jody says, "Can't wait to head out to a convention again. Feels like it's been forever."
Yeah, it's true.
You just got to wait for the world to open up, and we'll all be good to go.
Yep. Ferg says, "Can you guys link to a video with the Mycroft with a game being played on it?"
It's a great question. One thing we've done on the campaign, and I wanted to make more note of this, it's underneath each of our models of toppers: the Lestrade, the Adler, the Watson, the Holmes, the Moriarty, the Mycroft. If you click on that banner, there's a text there that says click it, and you will see all kinds of different games set up. We've received a few of my Kickstarters that I've backed, and like After the Empire, we actually got to play that. We've got a bunch of newer games that we're trying to get to the table. Lost Ruins of Arnak I just got, and I can't wait to play it, and everybody's talking about it, and I really want to play it, but just haven't had time. I just got Dune Imperium. I don't have time to play that either. I got Hadrian's Wall. I ain't got time to play it. I want to play it. But we're going to do some setups on some of our new game mats so you can actually see. We're going to do our best. We're swamped out of our minds. So we're not a huge company that has a ton of people that can just do all this. But our Game Topper Nation Facebook group, people are posting pictures of their games like crazy in there, and they're doing it on all kinds of different game mats. And you can type in Game Topper Nation on Facebook, and we'll send you an invite so that you can join the group, and you'll be able to see all the different things that people are doing and the questions they have, the things they've learned or like and want to do. A lot of times, if I have an idea, I go, "Hey guys, what do you think about this?" And they'll say yay or nay, or what about this? And they'll ask me other things, and sometimes I can do it and sometimes I can't, but such a great community. But likewise, click on the banner. You'll see all kinds of games set up on the Mycroft and the Holmes. You'll be surprised at how much game you can get on a Holmes and on a Watson. I mean, we've played TI-4 with 6 players on a Watson, and it was a little tight, but it was fine. Star Trek Ascendancy, that's huge sprawling. It's just fine because you got the rails, you got the card slots, you got the cup holders with component trays, you've got all kinds of things, our dice accessories. That lets you get a lot of bits off of the table and consolidate it, and really makes a big difference. So you'd be surprised about that.
Good Days Game says, not Australia, California.
And great day. Great name, I mean.
Willie asks, Mark, what is your favorite video game?
Oh, I'd say this is tough. I have a few top I really liked. I'm a huge Last of Us fan. Thought that was amazing. What a great story experience. And Shadows of Mordor. I like kind of like this open. I also like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, like open world things where I can go assassinate people. I like being sneaky. I like sneaky games where I can sneak around and kill people. And Last of Us, had that sneakiness with a little bit of combat and had an amazing story with amazing voice actors. So that's what I like to do. Mind you, currently, since we started doing Board Game Coffee, I have less and less time to play video games, but I did stay up till 3:30 in the morning playing the Avengers games because it was a Steam sale. So I picked that up.
Have you do you like hidden movement games and actually board games then?
Oh yeah, I Letters from Whitechapel to Chapel. I always forget if it's from or to. It's from Whitechapel, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that, and I have, and we've played Fury of Dracula too. But we prefer Letters from Whitechapel. It seems like it's a little faster paced, and but we like the superpowers as Dracula, so I like them both. I prefer Whitechapel, and it's really good. And Brittany is scary good at Whitechapel because I always play Jack because she likes being the hunter. Mm-hmm. So I always play Jack, and which is great because I like playing Jack, but I get cocky. I always get cocky and lose it. I'll start like running laps around her and leaving footprints, and then she just reaches out and it's like, I'm gonna make an arrest here. And I was like, oh, I always do it to myself. I was like, why do I do this? I could have just easily played this safe. But yeah, so that's one of those it might be a little more than 50-50 in her favor as far as games we win. But yeah, I love hidden movement games.
Jamie Kagi was just talking on the last episode of the Secret Cabal Gaming podcast. They were just talking about a game that our good friend Dan King, the Game Boy Geek, loves, and that's the Mr. Jack series. And they were talking about, then it's got that hidden movement deduction type of thing going on there too. I've never played it, but
I want to try Jaws, right? That's hidden movement. And I was so close. It's one of those games that I took it off my shelf of shame. I unwrapped it. I opened it, put it down, started reading the rule book, and then something happened and I put it away, put it on the shelf, and never got it again. But that's one I definitely want to get to because I love hidden movement and I love Jaws. It's got to be one of my favorite movies of all time. Jaws is amazing.
Cool.
So
you'd love Pete Shirey then.
Yeah, me and Pete, we get along just great. Yeah. Actually, we did the huge Bloodborne giveaway.
Yeah.
Right. And we gave away Matt.
Yeah, we gave away the dungeon Matt. You're right.
Yeah, so, and that was thanks to Pete. Yeah, so Pete's great. We love Pete.
Yeah, he's great.
How I met Pete was awesome because it was like we just started Board Game Coffee and we were walking through the con and I saw Pete with the CMON thing on him and I was like, oh, cool. Look, it's guys from CMON. And he turned, he's like, Mark Maia from Board Game Coffee. I was like, yes. Like we just started. He's like one of the first person that's ever like recognized us because our channel was really small then. And cool. So it was good. And we've hit it off ever since. We actually got another big giveaway coming soon from CMON. Just waiting for the right time.
So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Jody says, Game Topper Nation is a great community. One of my favorites on Facebook.
Thank you.
Got a question from Jack saying, anything you can share about the at-home casino market you mentioned during the last Q&A?
Yeah, thanks for the question. You know, we have the Texas Hold'em mat and we have the Blackjack mat, but the Blackjack mat right now, it's not one that we're offering in the campaign or as a normal item. It didn't sell well in the board game hobby. It's a gorgeous mat. It's got a little derringer and little glasses of whiskey, and it's great for blackjack. And the truth is there's not very many good mats out there, even on Amazon and all they're these crappy green folded felt that is, say that 3 times fast, folded felt. And it's there's not a lot of good stuff out there. So we want to exploit that market. Our Texas Hold'em is great. We talked about making a craps mat. We talked about making a roulette and then maybe getting a small roulette device for people that like to have home casino games, have friends over and be able to horse around and do that kind of thing. It's something that's more of a future project. We are not, I don't have immediate stuff happening there to do that, but I think that demands a little bit different target marketing to a different audience than board gamers. So it's one of the things that we're working on as we continue to grow. We've got a lot of stuff we got to keep our focus on, so we do what we do well, but that's coming.
Jody says, Josiah, what topper do you play X-Wing on? So great question. So I don't play a ton of X-Wing, but it's nice that it has a very small footprint. So it actually fits on any of our toppers except the Hudson, because you need at least a 3x3. So generally we have a Watson set up here at the house. So that's what we play on often. You can actually just I'll just throw like a Lestrade space mat on top of the Watson mat that we already have there, or just the topper itself. I also have some 3x3 mats. So that's one way to do it. It also fits really nice in a Holmes because then you have space on the edges that you can put your cards and things like that on. So
for those of you that don't know, Mark, I don't know if you know this, but you're looking at one of the youngest world champion Armada champions. He doesn't like me bragging on him, but I'm super proud of him. He's so much smarter than I am. I rely on him to help me whenever I need complicated situations, because our life is a heavy Euro, 15 hours a day. Okay. My brain is melting by the end of the night, but Josiah, he's always thinking ahead really well, and he's very good at strategy games, and he's developed a bit of notoriety within the Star Wars Armada community. I remember a couple years ago, fun little story. We have our Game Toppers booth up in the CGE room, way up on the second floor of Gen Con. And we had good helpers. We had plenty of stuff going on. It was busy, but he asked if he could go jump in on the Gen Con the Armada tournament at Gen Con, that if he could get in as a walk-in with a cancellation. It was already all booked up. Well, luckily he gets in. And so he comes back after the first day. And so we gave him the day off. He comes back the first day and goes, well, Dad, I won the whole first day. I need to play tomorrow. And so he ends up winning the whole thing as a walk-in, and gets to go to Adepticon in Chicago, because he won the nationals there. But he's gotten to be a little bit of notoriety, and he's developed the Grand Admiral Thrawn card for Fantasy Flight games, and it has all the characteristics from the Timothy Zahn movies, which is really kind of a cool accomplishment. And he does a lot with that community. You still do the Vassal site for Star Wars. And what do you think about a topper for Armada and the bigger miniature games?
Yeah, well, when looking at kind of more war game miniature games, I generally think you want at least the Holmes, just because most miniature games end up playing a 6-foot length. So the Holmes is 3x6, which is like the size Legion and Armada use. But you can also easily look at the Mycroft, because then you get that extra 6 inches on each side, where you could even put a Holmes mat inside and then have extra space for your cards and things like that in front of you. It's generally what I prefer to play on. Also, one thing I'm really excited about, and this is what I think I want to do, is get a Holmes with the dining cover and then put the mat on top of the dining cover. So it's raising up the play surface just a little, so it's a little easier to stand while you're playing, and then also gets you a little of that extra width from the dining cover. So
yeah, well, congratulations on being they're taking the Armada championship there.
So when did you first win that? Were you 20 or 20?
Oh, I don't remember. remember. 21.
21.
Like, I love playing X-Wing. I used to play quite a bit, and it's amazing because I played quite a bit. I bought a bunch. I like to try. I lost a lot, but I like to just make. I wasn't in there for the wins. I was, but I was in there for like the crazy wins. Like I just put together some. Like I wanted to do some just a crazy barrel roll, come behind somebody and just blast them. But like I always tried the most like random maneuver, but then I end up getting like stranded on some asteroid somewhere and being like, this is all bad. just like getting the like I've never played Armada, but X-Wing I love it. I have so much of it, but it's one of those games that if I had to sit down, my life depended on it to play it, I could not remember how to play that at all.
I just remembered something. I want to cover a couple quick things. I think we're going pretty long here, but for those that are enjoying this, thanks for staying with us. I didn't intend to go this long, but there's two quick things. I remember, you probably remember this when we went to Gen Con for your graduation when you were 18. We ended up, I think it was the graduation year, we ended up meeting Richard Borg. And we, one of the favorite games that we played in that stage of Josiah's life was Memoir 44 and all of the expansions. And there was a slot where we could play the Overlord, that great big honking one. And there was like 3 people on each side, right? Josiah was our commander, if I remember right. And Richard Borg then was coming over there talking with Josiah, kind of coaching him a little bit, the designer of Memoir for, and subsequently I've gotten to be really good friends with Richard. He's such an awesome guy. But I was thinking about that big Overlord map and how that works so great then with some of our solutions like the Mycroft and the Holmes and things like that, because those were really super fun experiences. Before we go too far and I forget, we got this in the mail today. Who's interested in this? This here is a carrying handle, of course, that latches on, but this is our new Game Hall prototype. Now, the fabric that we're getting is not this bright yellow. We have to dye it. We wanted a much richer gold color. So you can see it's a much richer gold color that we're actually going to have. I don't know if you can see that very good. Probably not. Huh?
The rustling's probably picking up on camera.
Yeah, the camera might not be picking it up real well. What?
The rustling.
Oh. So anyway, I'm not doing a good job here. It's a darker gold rather than the bright yellow. But what's so cool about these bags, they're all padded. This is a whole nother notch up from our game tote. The game tote is cool, no problem. But this thing is just so neat. It has a flap here. We've got our positioning statement, upgrading your gaming experience, and Game Hall, who is really noted for their high quality gaming bags. They have larger bags. The Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast, it's essentially the same bag that they did for their campaign. I bought this backing their campaign. The Secret Cabal, by the way, is going to be on Kickstarter June 2nd. So check out their thing. So if you'd like to get a Cabal bag, you can get a Cabal bag. But
I agree. Support the Cabal.
Yeah, we love the Cabal. So you take this flap up, it goes like this, and then the bag zips down. I know we're not doing a great job with the camera work here. Forgive me. I got a chair in front of me, so I can't really get across here really good. But notice that our double component tray folded up with the collapsible cup holders, it fits perfectly in here. So not only can this be a game storage bag for all your games, here we got Aquatica from Arcane Wonders. Got Volcanic Island for Arcane Wonders. We love Arcane Wonders, by the way. 4 Gardens. And this is this great big honking thick box. I get 3 games in here and the double cup holders. But wait, there's more. I'm like the OxyClean guy for board games. What you need is OxyClean. It has a really cool pouch on the side where you can get more stuff. You can get your goblet holders. You can get the single cup holders or your dice accessory trays. On the other side of the bag, it has these two pouches that you can put in your water bottles. They've got an elastic band. So if you have your big water bottle or your coffee mug or whatever, or smaller footprint games can go in there. And it's all padded. It has a really nice, solid waterproof bottom. The material, the coating they put on the fabric is waterproof. And then it's got these really nice rubber footies. Okay, this bag, normally they sell for $60. We're going to make them available for $39 on the Kickstarter. But I have something really special at the end of our campaign planned for this bag so that our backers of our packages can get it even more affordable than that. So if we hit some numbers, I'm gonna continue to add value to your packages. So send your friends, send your family, send your dog, pledge for all of our Kickstarter stuff so we can unlock some of this cool stuff. I think this bag is really awesome.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love the enthusiasm from you guys. Like the fact that you got like a whole family behind, like just supporting the board game community and just doing all this like board game accessories, like things like bags to carry them, game tables to play them on. Like I love this whole thing you guys got going. You've done a great job. And I really appreciate that, because it's nice to know that there's like this family wholesomeness, kind of like genuine love for board games behind it, and not just like a mass production, like, you know, Walmart type of deal, just throwing things together and being like, yeah, you know, the masses will buy this, so we'll sell it as cheap as possible, make it as cheap as possible. And so like I appreciate like the love you guys put into it. I think it shows.
Yep. Paused on us a little bit there.
Oh, sorry.
We cut out for a few seconds there. No problem. Well, thank you, Mark. A lot of what we've developed has all come from the love of gaming. Many of you have heard our story about how I had a dedicated table, and how do we make a portable version so I could play games with my daughters who lived an hour away. And then all of the developments have all come around that. I want something of high quality that's durable, that's going to last and stand the test of time. It's going to be heirloom. It also cool features like our dice tower system. This system for our accessory tays and dice towers, the modularity, it's off the hook. People talk about dedicated tables being, you know, so awesome, and they are. I love those Wormwood tables. I love the Raskkeller tables. No problem. You know, if that's in your wheelhouse and in your budget, and that's what you want, man, go for it. I'm all for that. But one of the things I think about our topper, and I know I'm biased, I love this stuff, I eat and sleep it, but the functionality, you don't lose a thing with our topper. The modularity for the cup holders, the modularity with all the features of our topper, and now that you actually have a leg solution, these are full-blown tables with all of these cool functions. And I have a dedicated table my dad built, and I love it. And the value is, I'll never get rid of it. But I prefer playing on the game topper because of all the features. And it all came from the love of the hobby and gaming, you know. So I know we have a few more questions. We'll try to whip them out real quick here and probably get off.
Good Days Game says, I ordered the Reichenbach Falls package. What's the best way to look at all the upgradable options to add to my pledge?
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
So on the Kickstarter page, we have the add-on options listed in a number of graphics that are right below the toppers on the main section of the page. So that'll show all the add-on items you can select to go with your pledge, as well as, of course, what comes in the pledge level itself. So everything like that will all be available in the pledge survey that comes after the campaign. So about, aiming for within a week or two after the campaign ends, we'll have those surveys going out to everyone. And there you'll be able to see all of the options to add on.
You're really in control because all the add-ons, all the extras, things you want to do, even if you need to change to a different pledge. If you came in as just a topper and you wanted to upgrade to a package, or if you came in a la carte and then you want to add a package, it's all in your control to be able to do.
Efrain asked, if I purchased the rail bundle for the Watson, can I upgrade the 36 by 36? So I think here the rail bundle for the Watson, it comes with a 38 by 30 mat, which is the Hudson size mat to fit half of your Watson. And those mats are already the upgraded 3mm premium mat. So the only mats that are the 2mm are the ones that come in the standard topper pledges. And we have unlocked the option to upgrade them to the 3mm, your choice of any mat, with a stretch goal. So one of the earlier stretch goals we unlocked. So, but other than that, all the mats you would get in like the mat bundles.
Well, he's asking to upgrade to the 36. Am I reading it wrong?
Yeah, those are all the 3mm mats. So, Jody says, Dune Imperium, my favorite game of 2021 so far. I'm a big fan of the IP.
Yeah, I want to play it.
Me too. I couldn't get it. It was sold out. So I got Arnak instead.
Arnak, yeah. I got it through Miniature Market. It came up on my wish list and grabbed it right away. I don't buy too many games anymore.
So that looks like all the questions. We have a couple more comments here or there, but that's all the questions seems like.
Yeah, I saw Efren. You got the measurement wrong. He was saying the 30 by 38, I think is what he meant, but he said 36 by 36. So, yep. Excellent. Well, this has been a blast. Mark, thanks for taking time after a hard day's work to jump in and talk with our fans about Game Toppers and to be able to talk about what you do with Board Game Coffee. How can people find you out and find out about your information?
Well, you can find us on YouTube. Just look for Board Game Coffee. I don't think there's many other channels with that two random names together. So like for Board Game Coffee on YouTube, we're on Instagram, and we are on Twitter less. we're trying to pick that up now, but mostly Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
On Facebook. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for being a backer of Game Toppers, and thanks for all your enthusiasm to let people know about the product. Again, and everybody, we just so grateful for your support. We couldn't do this without you. We still need your help. There's just 10 days left. So we're hoping and pushing and doing everything we know to do. We have a lot of marketing things that are going to be happening towards the end of the campaign, but what really makes this thing sing is when our backers share their stories from their experience. I feel confident that that's what will really win the day and at the end of the day, because there's so many stories that you have had that has shown your love for the product and how you feel about us, and that helps immensely. So please continue to share our campaign, and if you have stories or pictures to post in the other groups where other eyes can get on the campaign, that's really very much appreciated. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. If it's shipping and logistical and some of those things, support at GameToppersLLC.com is one of the best ones. Josiah doesn't work all weekend like I do. So if you have a support question on Saturday, you might not be responded to till Monday, but we will respond. If you have any other questions, Berkey, Burky at GameToppersLLC.com. Be happy to help out. Or direct Kickstarter message comes directly to my email as well. And I'm monitoring them all the time. So feel free in the comments if you have questions too. And if you want to join Game Topper Nation Facebook group, glad to have you. And feel free to send an invite there. And I think with that, we're about ready to shut this baby down.
We'll have a next live stream. Q&A 7 will be on Wednesday.
Wednesday at, let me just double check. Sure I'm right. We've got a really special guest. I love this guy. His name is Rory Veranda. Rory owns Empire Games Library in Albuquerque. Okay, Albuquerque. That's Alex Goldsmith on Dukes of Dice, and Sean Ramirez. They frequent the Empire Lord board game library, and we're good friends of theirs. Well, I became a good friend of Rory many years ago at BGG Con through that relationship. Well, just recently, he bought a whole bunch of toppers for Empire Games Library, and he is loving it. The people are just having a big blast, and we have Rory on the show next this coming Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time. 1 p.m. Central Time. And Friday, we have another guest at 1 p.m. Central Time. Mark Streed from the Dice Tower is going to join us. The following week on Monday, we have Ellen and Randy from Everybody, or We Board Game Together. Or no, We Board Game Together. I think I'm saying it wrong. They did a video for us. And then on the following Wednesday, we also have one other guest.
Getting too far ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting too far ahead.
We'll let you know again.
We'll let you know, but Wednesday, Rory's going to be with us. And so if you're a game store and you want to look at becoming a part of our affiliate program, we handle that individually, but reach out to me at Berkey at Game Toppers LLC. But you'll be able to talk to Rory and see how his customers have responded to the product and all of that. So with that, everyone, we're going to shut this baby down. Thank you again, and have a great night.
See you guys.